right, welcome to GibGabLove. I'm one of your hosts, Travis Grossi.
And I'm another host, Aurora Singh.
How are you, Aurora?
I'm good. I'm ready to give Gab love all day long.
Are you're GibGab good this Gib?
I'm Gib Gab okay today, I think.
Just okay?
Yeah, also I just realized you're going to hate when you see this video because there is a huge glare on my glasses.
I can't wait. I'm glad you wore glasses. What do you need glasses for? What are you looking at? What do you
I
have to
can't see. I'm legally blind.
Oh.
You
Really?
didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Aurora Singh. I'm legally blind. How are we feeling today?
Like nearsighted, farsighted, all-sighted, zero-sighted?
I'm nearsighted, so I can't see far away. I don't even remember the last time. Like, what is it like to like wake up in the morning and just like see the world? I have no idea.
Would you get LASIK?
I don't know. I thought about it, and then the doctor said that it could cause a halo around bright lights, and I was like, oh, that's not going to work because I have to be on stage with spotlights.
Yeah. You're like, I'm in a spotlight all the time. That's weird.
Yeah.
I
Like
can't.
literally the spotlight effect is real for my life. So yeah.
What, that's
So I
like a common thing, or like what he was just like, just so you know, this might happen.
That's
You
like
were
a side effect. No, it's like it happens. Yeah, you have like a halo around bright lights.
All I can think of is the Beyonce song.
Halo. Yeah, we're so Gib Gab happy you're here, but I'm just doing Gib Gab okay today. How are you doing, Travis?
I'm doing Gib Gab good, honestly. I
Really?
told
That's
you before we
rude.
started recording. Yeah, I know you're pretty low and I'm flying. Like I'm just like flying right over you, and you're stuck in your well.
Yeah.
When you get sad / depressed, do you think of it as like a well? Because in my brain, I'm like, when I'm sad and depressed, I feel like I'm in a well, like the girl in the ring, and I can't get out.
I feel
And I thought about last night, actually, because we talked yesterday, and I was like feeling up and you were feeling down. And I was like, oh, when I'm down and Aurora's like above the well, I am like comforted. Like, it's like, you can't pull me out of the well because like no one can. But like, it's nice to know you're there and you're just like, hey, you good?
And like,
I'm
you
"Can
know that-
bring me
yeah.
some bread?" And you're like, yeah. Here's some bread. Like I'm
it's
a
like
duck.
you know that there's life outside the well. I feel like for me, I've never really pictured a well, but I've pictured like a tunnel or a cave. So it's the same kind of idea where it's like you're like in darkness, but you can like see the outside world, and you're like looking at it, and you're like, oh, okay. I mean, I could just like get out of this tunnel, but I can't because I'm like comfortable in here.
Right.
You know, it's so nice in here sometimes. So
No,
I'm like fully in the cave right now.
Just like you're like nested, just like
I'm just like nested. I'm just like in it. I'm just kind of like questioning like what even matters. Does anything?
no.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that the right
I guess
answer? Did you want?
I guess
did you
I
want
gotta
everything
go
in there?
now. I need to leave.
Can we talk about depression? Do you want to talk about depression?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right.
All right. That's all you needed.
Just like Gib Gab depression. It's one of those things that people are like, people don't talk about it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure people talk about it. Like a lot of people talk about it, right?
We talk about it all the time, I feel like.
Yeah, me and you.
Yeah.
Because we're depressed all the time.
Because we're constantly trying to grow out of the depression.
Yeah.
But like you can't. Depression's always there. You just have to cope with it.
Right.
Right.
I don't know how yet.
It just you don't? Yes, you do.
I do. I listened. Well, what I was going to say was at the beginning of this depression monologue was I am Gib Gab good today because I spent 45 minutes to an hour singing show tunes by myself at the end of my workday.
What is
by myself,
your
to myself.
favorite? What's your favorite show tune?
I mean, I can't. Don't make me do that.
You have to choose gun to your tit.
Well, to like bet, like probably gun to my tit right now for like the like singing out "Defying Gravity" from Wicked.
Okay, give us a beat. Give us a
Do
line.
you know "Defying Gravity"?
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. Give us a line.
You've never seen Wicked?
I've never seen Wicked.
Oh, Aurora.
Travis, just drop a.
We have to go.
Okay,
well,
but
I'll give you the end is,
teaser.
and then it's just like, you're just like, she's flying. It's the end of Act 1. Elphaba is the Wicked Witch of the West. Although she's not wicked, she's misunderstood. It's a beautiful story.
Oh,
and at the end of Act 1, she like realizes her power and she's like, no, fuck all of you for calling me green and like wicked. First of all, I'm good. Second of all, you're trash. Third of all, I'm going to fly. And so she defies gravity. Idina Menzel, it is...
I love that. She's going to fly.
She literally flies over, like up on the stage, like kind of over the audience, right? And the first time I saw it, squeal, like yelp, wouldn't, like there's no word to describe the sound that came out of my mouth. I was just sobbing and like Wait,
you went and saw this on Broadway?
Yeah, on Broadway.
Oh, wow.
Tremendous, right?
I mean, that's the only way to see it, I feel like.
It was... Idina, the original cast was no longer there. I don't think. It might have been Kristen Chenoweth, but whoever it was, they were great. It might have been.
I don't know any of the. I don't know the names that you're saying.
I could be saying basketball players to you. Is the equivalent.
Yeah.
When people are like, oh, like Drake Johnson just signed with the sparkle pants, and I'm like, ooh.
Sparkle pants. I was in a tournament this past weekend and you're like, oh, what does it mean if you win? Like, how many more games do you have? And I'm like, I have no idea. I've always just shown up, played my position, scored some points, and then headed out.
You couldn't have known less about the tournament you were in. I was like, what was the score? I don't know. Well, wait, what happens? So if you win, then how many more games? I don't know. I was like, are you on the team or are you just like showing up?
What time is your game tomorrow? No clue.
No idea. They're going to call. Someone's going to come get me and just like.
I'm sure it'll be in a group text at some point before it starts, you know?
Wait.
And guess what? I was right.
And you guys won, right? Or like did well?
We won 2 out of 5 games. And I was at 3 out of 5 games.
You were what? You were only at 3?
I was at 3 out of 5 games and we won 2 out of 5 games. 2 of the ones that we won, I was there. So this is what had happened was we were there. I was there on Saturday. We played 2 games on Saturday and we won both games. And Sunday morning, my body was like, hey, you know how you played 2 games yesterday? That's all I can do for you. That's it.
We're done here.
We are done.
We're going to need to stay in bed.
And you
haven't done this in weeks, years, decades? Like, I don't understand.
Almost a decade. And like I went out and I felt so bad because it's like they went on a fast break down the court and I was just standing there at the end of the court like, you guys have so much fun. I'll meet you back down here. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means, Travis?
You're doing great.
Do you know what a fast break is?
I used my context clues and I was like, fast break. Fast break means like, you guys were fast. And like you were breaking. I'm assuming it wasn't like like a bad like a fast break means they were.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah, and then points. Am I wrong?
You're technically not wrong.
All right.
But you just said
basketball,
the same words.
Sports.
You just said the same words in different ways, I think.
Butch. Mask.
Can I explain what a fast break is?
Please. Ready? You start explaining. Watch my eyes. They just tune out. Go. Ooh. Like it's just
okay,
like.
We have the ball. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we do a turnover where the other team suddenly gets the ball.
Oh, no.
And now, okay, good. And now the other team is running fast down the court with the ball to their basket. Yeah. And now it's like 2 of their players on 1 of our players because they went on a fast break. They took the ball and they ran as fast as they could down the court.
I thought you guys went on a fast break.
No, we could if it was the other way around. But either way, us or them fast breaking, I'm not doing it.
You're more of like a gentle, like a slow.
I'm like a gentle fix it kind of girl. Like,
Wait, you did explain your position in basketball to me.
Yes, I said I was a post, and please explain to the people what you. I said I'm a post player and I'm a center, and you were like, oh, and I was like, what is a post player? Please.
Post. You just like post. You're on the court and you're just like post. You know, it's just like I'm gonna post. We're posting, and you're just like the one that's like, where it's like, where's Aurora? She's post. Look at her, post. You post. You're just posting on your phone.
I think it's really funny too. I said I'm the center, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, what did you say?" You said
the lead. Is
that the lead? Yeah. Is that the first on the call sheet? I was like, "Oh my god."
Again, am I wrong? No. Isn't the center the star?
No, usually the point guard is the star.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of.
But thank you so much for rubbing that in.
Oh, so you're not the star. Oh, you're like...
The post can be the star. I'm just not good enough to be the star.
Well,
I'm good, but...
You said in this league, you are particularly advantaged.
Yes, I do. This is an Asian league. Yeah. And I am technically half Asian because I am South Asian. But I am just over 6 feet tall, so everyone I play against is vertically challenged compared to me. Luckily, they can't jump as high as I can reach, which is good because
are the refs
which is good because I can't jump that high anymore, so it's so nice that I can reach higher than a lot of these girls can jump. You know?
Did you ever think that you would be in the WNBA?
I never wanted to go to the WNBA. But if I ended up there, I wouldn't have been upset about it. I feel like my entire life, I've always kind of just been like, I don't really know what I want to do, but like, I'm just going to ride this wave and see where it takes me. And that's how I like accidentally walked onto a Division I basketball team. You know, I accidentally started stand-up comedy. Like everything I've done is just like kind of like by accident.
You're just there, and then you're like, oh, okay, I guess, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm good at this.
And it's just wild. Like I was like joking around with a player at like orientation, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm a basketball player. You should check out my film. And then she messaged me 2 weeks later on Facebook and was like, hey, our coach wants you to come to open gym. I showed her your film. And I was like, what? Okay. And then like a month later, I'm like signing contracts to a Division I basketball team.
Wait, you're already at the college? You didn't go to college for basketball? Or like
no, I was there for orientation to just be a student.
Oh my God. That is you. That is you just being like, yeah. What's this
I was like, like, oh my God, are you on the basketball team? Oh my God, I played basketball in high school. You should check out my film. Aurora saying bye. And then I was on the team. It's like unheard of to walk onto a D1 team too. And I was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing this.
Wow.
Look, this is all you need to know about what happened is that I walked onto a Division I team. I didn't play a second, and then I walked right off. And that was the end. Done.
Wait, not a single
second.
But you suited up every game?
I suited up every game. Travis, there was a game that every single one of our post players fouled out. Every single one fouled out. They were out of the game. And so I'm like, sitting.
Oh my God.
I'm sitting on the bench. And yes. And I'm like, this is it.
Excited or terrified? Are you
both? Everything. I was like, yeah. I'm ready. I can do this. Like, I love this game. I love basketball. I can do this. And then the coach is literally looking down the bench and she's looking at everybody and she comes to me and then she calls on a guard. She goes, we'll just go, little man. And I was like,
that's so hurtful.
I was just like, what?
She's like, so no one else is, no. I guess the
like,
janitor.
The worst part was that she looked me in the eye. She was like, okay, weighing her options, looked at me, and then was like, no. Okay, I'm going to go with someone else that's smaller. It was so traumatizing.
Why? Weren't you good in practice?
I was really good, but it's because I wasn't making money for the school. I wasn't on a scholarship.
Oh.
So they couldn't like put me out as like a star player.
That's what you tell yourself?
It's very political.
Did I tell you that I went to the Dodgers game?
Yeah.
On whatever
You're
night
a
that
sports
was.
guy.
I'm very sporty. It was my first Dodgers game, my first Major League Baseball game in decades, I want to say. Like,
Okay.
for sure, since I was a kid in Chicago, going to Wrigley Field and being like, like we can throw peanuts on the floor. Like, that's exciting at Wrigley Field.
Did you say peanuts or penis?
Both.
Okay, cool.
It's kind of like a Chicago thing. You just like throw your penis on the floor and your peanuts. But the couple things that I noticed about the Dodgers. First of all, the stadium is beautiful. Have you been to the Dodger Stadium?
No.
Stunning. Like, really, like, lovely. Like, I was not paying attention to the game 90% of the time. I was looking at the mountains. I was looking at the sunset. I was looking at other people. It was
romantic.
It was a beautiful evening. Very romantic with myself and my friends. But what my biggest takeaway was, so the baseball coach wears the same outfit as the players. And so, like,
oh, does he?
The coach
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about baseball. Not even like a lickety split. Lickety splits.
So adorable and embarrassing at the like. And so we're like up in the nosebleeds, like in the sky, the cheapest seats possible. Great seats. I mean, great seats. I don't know. They were seats. It was a beautiful night. But anyway, my friend was like, because she went to school for like sports journalism and is like a big baseball fan. So she's telling me all the things. And I was like, okay, like I am getting this. And so they had a huddle at the pitcher's mound. Look at me just like throwing out terms.
I know.
So
look at you.
They were like huddling at the pitcher's mound, and she's like, okay, so now the manager is going to like decide who, if the pitcher stays or goes. And I was like, well, where's the manager? And she's like, he's at the mound. And I was like, no, those are the players. And she's like, he wears the same outfit.
Wait, the manager is the same as the coach.
The manager is the same as the coach. Also confusing. And is in the same. I cannot get over it. Like, I just think if that's a rule for baseball, then that should apply either to every sport or no sport, right? The basketball coaches should not have to wear a suit. They should be in like full basketball gear. Amazing.
I mean,
swimming coaches, Speedos across the board. Speedos for everyone. Like, it's such a good idea. It's adorable. And it's like such a good like bonding, like they're not like, there's no like hierarchy. They're like part of the team, they're dressed like the team. Imagine for a moment football coaches in the full football spandex. I'm talking tight. I'm talking shoulder pads. Like they're just like on the sideline.
I would love if more men just dressed in football pants in general.
Same.
Just like to the mall.
Yeah.
To the grocery store.
Yeah. 100%.
Let those cheeks out. Come on.
Yeah. Yes. Let them. It's cheeks.
I want to see those cheeks. Come on now. Let's get cheeky. Did you ever date a football player?
No.
I did.
Was he the star quarterback? Shut up.
He was the captain. He was the captain of the football team, and I was the captain. He was a captain of the football team at the all-boy Catholic high school, and I was the captain of the basketball team at the all-girl Catholic high school.
That's hot.
It's so hot, and we were so hot together, but the thing is, everybody hated him because he was such a douchebag. Yeah, but it was still fun because I got to like wear his jersey to games, and I wore his jersey. I wore his jersey as a dress.
Wow, you just like cinched it at the waist and we're like,
no, because it's tight. Like a football jersey is tight at the waist part. Like it's tight because it has to stay over their like pads and everything. And so I just like scooched it down and I wore it as like a little football dress.
Just a hoe. What year? How old were you? Was this like senior?
I was 17. Yeah, senior year. I was 17 years old, and I was just like this hot little thing. Yeah, and That's cool.
There's the difference between gay and straight in high school. I kind of have those moments. I kind of have. It feels sad. It's sad. Just sad. Sadness. That was my friend. So it was a girl who was a friend It's always so weird when people are like, my girlfriend, you know, she's, but like
I'm not confused by it at all. Do you think other people are confused when you say your girlfriend?
Like, his girlfriend. He was just talking about asses, but then he said girlfriend. He must be straight.
You know what? Actually, that makes sense because I was talking to another person the other day and I didn't know if they were gay, straight, non-binary, whatever they were. But then they said my girlfriend, and I was like,
see, yeah. You were like, oh, solved, sorted, put it in the box.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what was happening.
But they could have just been like a friend who was a girl.
Yeah.
Like if I was like, oh, my girlfriend, Aurora. That's so weird to me.
Oh my God, I love the way that sounds.
So
I love it. Oh my God, I feel like a little girl. I'm like, oh my God, I have a boyfriend.
But no one says that in reverse.
It just brought me back to like being a little girl. Are you kidding? Okay. I haven't had a boyfriend in like 9 years. Oh my God.
For real. You're my gal pal.
I feel like my intro for you is highly offensive.
What is it? Oh my God. What is it? What the my intro for you is like, Aurora is one of my favorite people in the world. Oh my God. She's this comic. She's so funny. She's the best. And you're out here fucking slandering. What do you say?
No, I say, oh yeah. For example, I'm doing a podcast with my friend Travis. He's a 40-year-old bald gay man, and I love him. That's what I say. What?
I mean, it's accurate. It's just like, wow. Like age, you did age, and then like deficit, like right away. You know, like there's so many other. It was like, like what about something I had?
I love you. I say.
40-year-old, great eyebrows.
Bald gay man, and I love him. He's highly creative. He's one of the most creative people I know.
You don't follow up with any of that.
I do. Come on.
I know you don't by the tone of I do. 40-year-old bald gay man. That is
and you're forgetting the and I love him.
Which
forgot.
That is a lovely, that feels nice. However, that qualifies for me if I'm hearing this and I don't know Travis. If I heard, oh, my friend Travis, oh yeah, Travis, oh yeah, he's my 40-year-old gay bald friend. Like
bald gay man. It's bald gay
40-year-old bald gay man. Those are like, oh no, ooh, and then you save it with but I love him or and I love him.
No, and not but and.
Regardless, it's and I love him. That's like, like that because he needs love because he's an ogre. Like it sounds like it sounds like I'm like this like spindly like hunched over person. Like when you say 40-year-old bald gay man, what I envision is like sickly pale, like sitting on a bar stool in like some like rundown gay bar. Yeah. And then when you say and I love him, you're like, oh, and he's lovable. Like, oh, that's nice that like lonely 40-year-old bald gay man has a friend. That's what I think.
So what I'm hearing is it is offensive.
What? Okay, I have an update. I just had, yep, and it is. I was like, speaking of my clothes, and then I'm wearing my shirt. It's currently inside out. Yeah. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Last episode, GibGabLovers, if you didn't catch it, Aurora told me that I needed to step up a lot of aspects of my life, but particularly my fashion. In our GibGabLove or Leave It section, we talk about gym clothes and how people who like feel good and dress good, you know, when you dress better at the gym, you feel better. So this week, I'll have you know two things. One, I dressed up for the gym, Aurora. I dressed up for the gym. I talked to you earlier. I wore a different blue shirt that I felt like brought out my eyes. And I was like, I looked in the mirror and I was like, okay, Okay.
Oh my
And
God.
it like fit me. And it didn't have any like holes or tears or stains. Very
Oh my
exciting.
goodness.
And then I had black shorts that were just fine. But my shoes matched my shirt and my shorts. And that is what I did. And I did feel better at the gym. So
how did you feel? Like, what felt better? Like, can we be specific?
I just felt like less of a schlub and like more of a like, okay, he deserves to be here. Look at him. He's matching. Like when I caught myself in the mirror, I was like, okay. That's what I did.
Okay.
But I still was sweating like an ungodly amount. And, I was still myself. But the second thing that I did was at the Dodger game, I was about to leave the house and I was wearing what you make fun of me for, just like my cartoon, like gray shirt, like I don't even know what, khaki shorts, maybe indiscriminate shorts. I was just going to wear like New Balance sneakers and was just like, meh, no one's going to look at me. I'm not going to look, whatever. And then I was like, no, Aurora said you should put some effort into your appearance.
Okay.
And so I did. So I wore like a shirt that like I thought looked okay. And then I got like different pants that were like kind of like nicer, like little khaki moments, but they were still like a little sporty. And the shirt was the shirt was a dark blue, which I was like for the Dodgers, but then I got there
for the Dodgers.
Both teams were in blue though, so that was very confusing. I don't know who they were playing. But anyway, and then I put on like some like white Converse and I was like, I looked in the mirror and I was like, okay. And I felt
good. I'm so proud of you and it made you feel better. And
Thank you so much.
Now we can go out in public together.
Right? I think so. I think I'm ready.
Was there something that you wanted to teach me about? I taught you about sports.
Oh.
Do you want to cut? Do you not want to do this because you're afraid your mom's going to hear?
You want to talk about Aurora wants me to talk about anal sex. Which I'm happy to talk about. Here's what I think. So, you as a straight woman, you have like no exposure to anal sex.
I've never done anal.
What?
I've never given or taken.
Oh, given. Yeah, you could peg. Well, yeah. Okay, so what are your questions?
Well,
you can ask
okay.
three questions that you've always wanted to know and no one has ever told you about anal sex.
Okay. Oh God, this is so much pressure, Travis. Okay, 3 questions. One question I have is what is the process and how long does it take to prepare for this penetration or give?
Great question. And glad you asked.
Because you can't just do like spontaneous
anal, and
right?
That's like, no, you can. That's risky depending on like who's what, where, and who's had what for dinner, breakfast or lunch, and like kind of
because just a side question, you've been in long-term relationships, right? So if you guys are just like going to bed and feeling frisky, can you guys just like do it, or is it like it has to be planned out?
It depends. So here's what is a couple of things you have to plan for. Okay, ready? Here come words.
Oh God, are you okay?
No, but this is what frustrates me about like seeing like gay sex on TV and film, because they're just like, oh my gosh. And then they like, hop into it. And I'm like, well, really? Because that's not, you gotta have to prepare. So it depends. If you have a lot of fiber in your diet and you have been having solid and clean and clear bowel movements, then you're good to go for the most part. With like just a little quick like douche, which was your question, was how do you prepare, right? And how long?
Right. Yeah, and how long?
Right. So in order to clean yourself, you just clean yourself with water with an anal douche, and that involves squirting water up into yourself and then letting it come out. And
I do that every day, like 2 or 3 times a day with my bidet.
Well, it's different than a bidet. unless you're doing the bidet differently than the rest of us. Because no, anal douches are like they're like a bulb with like a pointy thing on the end, and you like insert it into yourself.
Oh my God, like an enema?
Yeah. You give yourself like just like a little baby enema. Or there's devices that you can like hook up to your shower or bath, and then that kind of just like funnels the water. But it's still like you insert it into yourself. Okay. And so you like fill up with water and then let that go. And then depending on how much fiber and last time you ate and healthy stuff, whatever, that could just be like a couple of like 2 or 3, 5 minutes, less than, you're good to go. Or things are happening, then maybe it's not time to have sex, or you got to give yourself some minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Okay. So there's a lot
what's
of
hilarious is before I didn't know any of this because no one, this is another, like no one talks about gay sex.
Right.
And no one tells gay people how to have sex, especially I'm 40. When I was coming up, no one talked about it. We barely had the internet. Like porn on the internet was like not video porn. It was like picture porn because that's all the internet could like hold at the time. So there were like chat rooms, but the point is it was like the Wild West, and I didn't know about douching until like my like late 20s because no one ever told me.
So what did you do before?
Just like let go and let God and prayed to the Lord that things were
Did you have accidents?
And for the most part they were. I mean, yeah, and that's the other thing about our sex is you like there when you're, playing with fire, sometimes you're going to get burned, And so it's like sometimes there's some things and like it's not ideal, it's not great, and if it's like someone you don't know, then like that can be like oopsie doops.
Okay, wait, so I think this is my third question. So the first time that you did it, how bad did it hurt? Did you like rip it? Like what? Ow.
Well, that's the other thing that I feel like people should not think. So no, it didn't hurt as much as it's like the way it was explained to me. And I got a book in college because I didn't know how to have sex because no one's told me. And I didn't have a lot of gay male friends. Is that true? Yeah, I really didn't. And so I found this book in the library, in my college library maybe, or like the city library. That was The Joy of Gay Sex. And I like saw it and I was like, oh, I saw it. Like it was just like out. I'm sure I like searched for it. But anyway, it was this book and I like had to figure out like, okay, so you can have joy in gay sex? I had no idea. I just thought it was terrifying and painful and like covered in poo. Turns out no. And the way that they explain,
covered in poo.
Well, that's what you think, especially like growing up in the Midwest when it's like, ooh, gay sex is bad and dirty and you're going to get AIDS and be covered in fecal matter. Like that's what I thought. But anyway, no, you're like, it's a muscle that is like tense. And then if you apply pressure to it, it relaxes after a certain bit. It just like becomes like tired and then it expands. And the difference between, as I understand it, I'm not a doctor, but men and women's areas is we have a G-spot in our prostate. That is our prostate. Like that.
All men do?
Yeah. We derive pleasure from receiving anal sex. And so there can be like a little bit of like discomfort, but mostly depending on the size and situation and like how prepared you are and lube and all that stuff. But like mostly it feels real good because you're like in a
so it's like once you get past all the pain, it's like there's rainbows on the other side.
But for women, that's what I've never entirely understood, because you, as far as I know, don't have like a physiological like G-spot there, right? Like your clit is like not in your booty.
Our buttholes are just for religious loopholes. It's literally our women's buttholes are actually called religious loopholes.
Yeah,
that's a scientific term.
Right. Yeah.
For women's buttholes, because there's no other reason for us to do it in the butt.
Right. Other than so the Lord doesn't see, because he can't.
Because
see.
it's a religious loophole. Yeah.
The
The Lord can't see through that hole.
Right. But like, I feel like most straight people think gay sex is like this super painful, awful, and like
No,
that's why like the term
think,
like
I don't think that. I don't think that.
Oh, really? Oh, good.
I think I was just curious about the first time. Cause I mean, like, even for women, the first time can be painful because you're like ripping open something that's never been opened before.
God, ripping.
That's why sometimes you bleed after the first time you have sex as a female. Cause it's like ripping things apart.
Yeah. No, it's not that.
Unless you have like a wide set vagina. Do all gay men have a wide set butthole?
No.
Okay. I've never done it, and I probably never will.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
I don't know. Live your life. I'm never gonna have vaginal sex. I know that is true. So you don't have to have anal sex.
What if you get invited by a couple to have sex with them, and it's a heterosexual?
I'd be like, no, thank you.
No, you're strictly dickly.
Yeah, no, I don't have. What would I do? I would just be like cheering you on. Like, good job, you're doing it. she looks like she's enjoying that.
When she gets tired, you're gonna be like, put me in, coach. When she gets tired.
Okay, yeah, sure. Like, do you want to watch your husband have sex with me? Okay, then.
Oh.
then that's what I would be there for.
Things are getting really hot and naughty. Oh my God. I'm starting to feel the Catholic guilt.
See, you are so funny because you also grew up Catholic. So did I. And like, I feel like that was like, so like everything sex was bad.
Yes.
Like you're going to burn in hell.
I remember they taught us when they were teaching us like the birds and the bees in school. They taught us, if you ever felt the desire to like do something, like you feel those sexual desires, the best thing you could do for yourself in those moments is to find another activity, read the Bible, say a prayer, go for a walk, to avoid those thoughts of sexual thoughts, because that is the devil speaking to you in your brain. That's what I was like 8 years old. Right. Like, this is how I was brought up.
Same.
That if you even thought about it, gay, straight, whatever, it doesn't matter what is, if it's a sexual thought, that is the devil, and you need to overcome that.
You need to overcome it, run away from it, and then also tell the priest in confession.
Yeah.
Which is so creepy and weird.
Did you ever do that?
Yes, because I thought...
You did? I never told anybody.
Oh, I said because what is it? You say I'm having impure thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember saying I'm having impure thoughts. But I was super young too, I guess, at that time. But still I was like, you think like naughty, I don't know. I definitely age appropriately naughty thoughts, but still I just
remember feeling so much shame after any time I would like try to just like explore my sexuality. I just remember always like, even now talking about it, I'm like, I'm feeling shame.
Right. Except for, that's what I want to ask. You're so good at like not like being shameless on stage and shameless in your comedy. And I asked you this before, but I'm like, how do you do that when my censor is like that? My parents, my mom or my dad or both of them are going to listen to, watch, read, whatever I'm outputting. And if there's something in there that's like, ooh, like, then I'm like, I want to censor myself for them, even though I am a fully grown man. They're human beings who've had the full range of human experiences.
Let me ask you this. If you were to talk about it in front of them, like if you were on stage and you were talking about blowjobs in front of your mom, after the show, is she going to speak to you about it?
Yeah. She would be like, that was uncomfortable. Like,
okay. So here's the difference, right? So my mom, well, first off, my dad's not around, so fuck that guy. But my mom is a Haitian immigrant. We do not speak about anything like that. So like I will do a full show and I will talk about anything and everything. My mom will be laughing the loudest in the back. And then after the show, we are not speaking about it. Like it just doesn't happen. She will not.
Never? Like that's, you never, like no one's ever, like that's never just even come up tangentially about like whatever?
No. The only time my mom has ever said anything was one time I posted on Facebook my freshman year of college about pre-gaming, and she was like, Aurora, you should be more concerned about what people think. And that was it. Literally one time in high school, I left a box of condoms in my purse.
Yeah.
And my mom, I woke up in the morning and my purse was open with the condom box like sitting out. And I was like, fuck, my mom was looking for change. Because she was like, she needed change for something. And I was like, get it out of my purse. So she was looking for change, found the box of condoms, left it out. And the whole day I went to school and I was like, oh my God, my mom's going to my life is over. I'm never going to see my boyfriend again. Like, this is it, blah, blah, blah. To this day, we have never spoken about it. Not a single time. Never brought it up. Yeah. So it's like, I think for me, like I go on stage and I can talk about it and it's kind of like therapy. But then once I'm off stage, I'm like, I feel like I'm so scared and like tense to talk. I can't do it like in person. And I've actually talked to Drew about this because he's the same way. On stage, he'll talk about eating vagina and blowjobs, like all this stuff. And then I'm like, okay, so like, what do you want to do in bed tonight? And he's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Ooh.
It's like so weird.
Well, I mean, that is like something creatively, like I am working on, like my dad was like, oh, your podcast. And I was like, and I love him and like love it. He's so supportive and I love his support and I'm sure he's gonna, but I didn't like send him the link. I was like, yes, well, you know, what's up. It's out there.
Oh, I know. I hope that we can like overcome this like Catholic guilt that holds us back from being our true selves, because it isn't really anything to be shameful of. Like we shouldn't be shameful of our sexuality, and we shouldn't be shameful of our sexual experience and sexual curiosity, all those things. It should just be a part of life.
Because it is. My pilot that I wrote called Travesty a while ago, it opens with a blowjob. And so like I was so...
Yeah, how was that with your parents? Like your parents saw that, right?
My mom, so I split it up into like 6 episodes. It's a 30-minute pilot, but I like chopped it up, whatever. So the blowjob was in like the first like mini episode. So she would say the only time she acknowledged it was like, I forget what she said specifically about it, but it was like, that wasn't good. Or I didn't like that, you know? So I send it out she was sending people the link to starting at the 2nd episode and beyond. I was like, well, they missed. That's kind of an establishing. I mean, yes, there's fellatio, but yeah, like, but it's in the service of story.
Right. But you also have to remember that like, then that's her boundary.
That's true.
But that shouldn't affect you in the way that you handle things.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's not your responsibility. Let it go. Let it go.
That's why we talked about
show tunes.
That's why we talked about anal sex.
That's why we talked about anal sex.
You're welcome. We've lost
Travis's mom and dad. Hi, Travis's
single
mom
listener,
and dad. We're doing it.
Except for my mom and dad, who are horrified.
And my mom just sitting there cringing. And we'll never talk about it.
Things we won't talk about. This podcast. Hey, GibGabLovers. We have some news. By we, I mean Travis forgot to turn on the microphone and his camera for the rest of this podcast. So,
whoopsie
doops. You know what? You win some, you lose some. We had a great conversation.
I don't remember any of it, but I know it was really juicy.
It was very juicy, very explicit. And we're just going to leave it here. So thanks so much for listening. We love you so much.
Thank you so much. Follow me, Aurora Sing Comedy, on all the socials.
And you can follow me at Travis Grassi on all the socials. And we'll be back here next Monday with another episode of Gib Gab Love.
Gib Gab love you.
Bye.